Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk and Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of the Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Brokerage, and I'm also principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage Inc. license 13241. Today's topic is the impact of interest rate and mortgage approval, and we will give you also market update. Recently, the Bank of Canada has increased a 0.25% rate, which will affect the variable mortgage if you own or you have a variable mortgage. Mostly variable mortgage are fixed, and cost of carrying your mortgage will increase. As you know, there is a price difference between variable and fixed mortgage, because when you take a fixed mortgage, the bank takes the risk and fix your rate for a period of time, 3 years, 4 years, 1 year, or 5 years. But when you take a variable and you take advantage of that variable rate, then any adjustment in the rate the bank will charge you, it will reflect an increased monthly cost. And if you have stretched yourself thin and this rate has increased your monthly cost, you could be in trouble. So this is why it's very important. Now, just make a note that in fixed rate and variable rate is always approximately 1% difference. So if the 0.25% has increased, that doesn't mean that you will be spending more than what the other members who have acquired a fixed rate is paying. You still be paying less than the fixed rate. But the problem is that if Bank of Canada, it tried to increase, which is we expected more increases next 6 months, then obviously the cost of you paying your monthly payment will fluctuate and varies, and that will create maybe undue financial burden on you. So as long as the variable rate, and once you got the mortgage approval and you have a 2% stress test included in your approval process, this is how the OFSI rules have worked. You must be qualified at 5.25%. That means you have the ability to adjust at least 2% rate hike during the performance of your mortgage for a period of 2, 3 years, 5 years, or whatever time that you negotiated. Now, so if you take in the variable, you still have that leverage, and you can always talk to the lender and get them to fix it. So don't get panic. It's not going to affect you too much. As long as you know that you have genuinely applied for your mortgage and you went through the stress test to make sure you qualified. If you have used any other means to get the mortgage and then you rely on variable because it's going to cost you less money to carry, and now all of a sudden rates start going up, you may have a problem, not maybe first increase in a few years, but in the following, it will impact you, and you have to look at your budget again to make sure you're monitoring your budget. Now, so not to get panic, if you need any advice in terms of your mortgage, feel free to call me 416-451-3489. I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage and president of the company. So you can call me directly and I can give you advice what to do. Or you can learn about the mortgage process, go to mortgage-express.ca. And you can check the protocol, how to get the mortgage. Now we're going to talk about really the process of the mortgage pre-approval. The bank are not taking time. They don't like it to get the pre-approvals because they have to go through the lengthy process of getting people to approve. On the other hand, if you are already working with the bank, you have multiple properties, or you are a client of the bank for a long time, they might work with you to get you the approval. But if you are a first-time buyer and you need a pre-approval, it's a good idea to work together and put together information and make sure that you are providing and getting the pre-approval, because this is very important with the bidding war going on. And I tell you, we're going to talk about the statistic which has changed, and what happened in the prices has gone up and sale has gone up as compared to the other years. We will talk about that in sense that we will have a conversation about the financing and how it relates to the mortgage. The most important thing is to get the pre-approval in a sense that you get assessed value, how much you can afford. So the first step that it has to be done is called identification. The person who is applying for the mortgage. Is very important that the person who's going to buy the property, or the person who is guarantor, or the source of income that is being applied, or whoever is going to be on the title or on the mortgage has to be identified. If there is a third party, there is a disclosure requirement. So the most important thing is to process a pre-approval is to make sure you identify yourself. So are you going to be on the mortgage application? Is your spouse going to be on mortgage application, or any family member, or anyone who is guaranteeing, your parents, mostly immediate family? They can support each other. So this is identifying on your document, which will also be going on your agreement of purchase and sale when you create an offer. So most important thing is identifying the person who will be applying for the mortgage. Have a brainstorm idea with your real estate professional. Talk with them who is going to be on the application, and the person who will be on the offer, because the person who's going to be offered will be on the title, and bank may want to include the guarantor name on the title. Then you have to decide the title, what is the percentage of the title and the contribution the person is making. Are you financially doing everything, but you're having a guarantor income to verify to qualify for the mortgage? So these are all things that come together. You have to be very, very clear, because I have experience where some family member have supported the applicant, and then when they realize they have to do a lot of obligation and they could not buy another property later on, they backed out. That's why it's very important to identifying process who are the real people on the application to seek a mortgage approval, who will be on the title, who is the guarantor, to make sure they're committed for that. Second important thing is employment verification. This is very, very important, because bank wants to loan you the money, and they want to make sure that you have a solid income. You have a 2 years of income tax statement, notice of assessment, T4, self-employed T4As, and you have a letter of employment most recently, last 30 days, and you have a pay stub, last two space stub, mostly 2 weeks before the closing. They like to have that to show verification of the current income, and you have a notice of assessment for the past 2 years. I know it's a little challenging, like anybody else, that you don't have good income in 2021. I'm on board with you. This is the same problem for everyone. Not everyone, but majority of them. It has impacted especially sales people who are on commission. Real estate professional and mortgages are on commission. So their income will fluctuate. In most cases, when you qualify for mortgage, you have to put 35% down. So this is all important. Now, when you are applying for a mortgage, this is proof that you are using a T1 journal for that. We're going to talk about that. So employment verification is you have a T4As, you have a letter of employment. It outlines the job classification, total gross income before taxes, and duration and occupation, type of work that you do. It confirms the bank that they are continuing, and employer is telling that you're going to be working there for a period of time, you're a permanent employee. Thing can happen. They can downsize and get rid of you after you take the mortgage. But this is to assure the bank that at the moment you applied, you are honest, you declare that income. And some people will try to get an employment letter from the family member who has an organization. Don't do that. Unless you are being paid, you are on the payroll, or you are being employed, or you are self-employed, invoicing them, you must have a record of invoices and the services you delivered to make sure it's a verifiable income. Because when you falsify and you disclose and misrepresent to get a mortgage, you are contravening to MBLLA and becomes a criminal fact against the Mortgage Act. So there are consequences for that. So be careful about it. Now, proof of income. So what bank does, when you have provided this information to them, they verify it. They verify the income. And when you give CRA a note of assessment, they can see that you did declare income and you have a note of assessment. They go to a net income. Because self-employed, they take out gross income minus any expenses, they give you net income, and which you show on your T1 general, self-employed or self-business or commission services. So you show that as expense. That expense is net income that they use for assessing a self-employee for qualification purposes. So if you're an employee, your T4 will give you gross income, they use that. And then if you have any contract for self-employee, that you are ongoing contract relationship, that's a proof that you provide. So this is why it's very important. They want to validate that income, that you do have income, and those documents are really confirming that. Now, the most important thing, you got the employment, you got the IDs, FinTrack requirement for mortgage, and remember that as a principal broker or mortgage broker or agent, we have know your client, a suitability assessment protocol that we look at the ability of a borrower to make sure they have a good income, they have expenses, they are counted for. There's a very detailed 4-page form that we use. FISRA has recommended that form. We use that. So we only look at the income, and we look at all the expenses, and we come up with the TDS and GDS, total debt service or gross debt service. So that way, one includes, TDS includes all payments, including the student loans and car payments and Visa card, everything, whereas GDS doesn't do that. GDS is about 30% of the total gross income that you have for a year. TDS is about 40%. Sometimes the bank will give you 1 or 2 points because of your relationship. So we analyze that, would you qualify for the mortgage that you're asking that? On my citydashpro.net, we have a calculator that you can go on my website. You can really calculate yourself whether you qualify that or what type is your affordability. So you can go to buying or selling process, drop down menu, select calculator, and there are 4 calculators. One calculates about CMAC. If your loan to value ratio is high risk insurance, then you can calculate that. Then you have mortgage affordability and mortgage rate actually. So once you have chosen a rate, so you can do that. So this is why it's very important. Now, so income, you've been identified, your employment verification has taken place, and you also have a proof of income has been verified. Now they look at the asset. How much asset you have. So asset are your cash money in the bank, RSP, TFSA, other saving that you have. Those are your assets. Car, which is paid, is your asset. And those are the car that you buy. And similarly, any property real estate that you own is your asset. So what they do is they put all the asset in one place to calculate your net worth. You as a borrower, what is your net worth? Because you're asking for a mortgage for a real estate. So if it's a second property, they will treat you very differently because they need to evaluate, because it's going to be a rental income property. So there is a different criteria for income property. And also, if you have a house that has a basement rented, you can use that rental income. Depending on the bank, some will add 50%, some will ask more, or you are buying a second property with 100% going to be rental is an investment property. Therefore, they will claim that rental income against your mortgage. It all depends on circumstances. You need to share that information with your mortgage agent, broker, or principal broker like me. Then I can help you to understand that and make sure you provide you professional guidance and option. In the mortgage industry, under our MBLLA, Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Ontario, have given guidelines. So one is called suitability of product. Know your product. That means a mortgage agent and broker should know what they are offering to their client as a product to accommodate their needs and how they think is suitable, and it has to be justified in the mortgage approval process and application to document that this is the option that we have considered. This is the best solution for you. Therefore, we want you to consider that, or you recommend them. Once you have verified the asset, let's assume you have a asset which is $1 million, and you still have a mortgage of $500,000. So your net difference is half a million capital gain, or equity in your house. If you are upgrading from your own house to a new house, it's your principal residence. Therefore, there is no capital gain right now, even though we do that. So this is how this added that you have an asset, and you even though you have now they're going to go back to liability. One side is asset, one side is liability. So what is your liability? So they look at this mortgage. Let's say you have a $500,000 mortgage at 2%. Now you are seeking another mortgage, and they're going to see how much you need for that, how much you're going to put down, and how much would you qualify. They're going to calculate the value, see how much you qualify. Maybe you are getting a rental agreement for that new property, and maybe the new mortgage will cover the entire mortgage, the expenses that you're going to incur. In my personal experience, you need about 36% to 40% to break even in a rental business. Because of COVID, the rate has gone up, so you may be able to get more money, and you may end up a little bit positive income on a monthly basis if you buy another property. Now, this is very important so you have asset, you have liabilities, and you have assets. So plus minus, it is part of the calculation to see if you can afford it. Use as a leverage to get your mortgage. The most important thing after that is your credit score. If you have a good credit score, and you know that Equifax and TransUnion, there are two big corporation. Equifax is a Canadian and TransUnion is American, but they're all bank. For example, RBC uses TransUnion, and Equifax is used by other banks. So once you submit your application through a broker, and because this is a buyer-broker process, they will seek to get your credit report. Normally, locally for Canadian, we always use Equifax. We pull the report, it will give us everything. So when you submit your application and you miss out information, you miss out credit card, you miss out car payment, you think that the mortgage agent or broker doesn't know that, that is not a good idea, because we have access to it. When we pull report, it will pull out all the things that whenever you have taken a credit, because there is a creditor will go and register all their clients to the Equifax or TransUnion. So therefore, if you decline on payment, it will reflect on your credit report and also on the score. So they will see how you rate yourself and how good is your credit. So once they have this credit information, they will say, okay, we got identity, we have the right person, we got these income documents, we got the verification of income done, we have his asset, we have his or her liabilities, and now we have credit score. And based on this assessment, your broker or principal broker will tell you that how much you qualify. Because when you apply through the origination software to the brokerage, it generates TDS and GDS. It gives us a report, and when we have these reports coming from Credit Bureau, and then we compare what you have given to us, and we correct this, we verify it, we get documents from you, and then we say, okay, now everything is verified, and we give recommendation to the lender, and we choose. As a brokerage, we have lots of options because buyer broker, in terms of a mortgage or agent, have the ability to buy down. Sometimes they get a certain amount of percentage of commission, not too much, maybe 0.5% or maybe 80 point of the total value, but then they can buy down a rate to be more competitive. So do give a chance. If you have verified income, call me. My number is 416-451-3489. I'll be more than happy to help you. And go to express-mortgage-express.ca and you can download the application and send it to me, and I can help you how we can be competitive in this and make sure that you have the best deal. Also, the important thing is that you are providing the bank information, and you have provided them not only all these documents, you also have a closing cost, and you can demonstrate through your bank statement that you have the money. Where is the deposit coming from, and is it coming from the parents or coming from anyone? Disclose that. If there is a gift, there's a different story. You need to have a declaration from them that it's a gift to the kids. Or you are going to borrow this, that becomes a liability. It will bring down your threshold for the mortgage approval. This is why you also create your budget. Monthly expenses, how are you going to carry this mortgage? This is very important. I emphasize in my first-time home buyer episode and webinars that I said, please prepare your budget. Prepare your budget and stick with it. Also prepare your closing costs, especially real estate professional. Help your client to prepare a budget. This is very important so you know what to buy and how much it's going to cost you to buy and get a key and move in. And second thing is, what is your monthly cost in terms of mortgage, the maintenance, property taxes, utilities, and other maintenance that you plan to do it. So having that budget in mind, you will never go wrong when you're trying to get a mortgage, and make sure you discuss. You also discuss with your mortgage agent why you are recommending me an offer, why you are recommending me a type of mortgage. What is the reason? Why variable versus fixed rate? What are the risks? Why this is suitable for me? Did you ever ask your mortgage agent to talk to me why you are recommending this product? Is it suitable? Did you review my asset? Did you calculate my suitability? Do you know your product? That means the mortgage agent broker who's recommending you a particular proposal. Rate is one thing. You also have to look at the terms and conditions, because fixed rate will have a different terms and condition as compared to variable. The gain is you have to have a rate differential. If you need to terminate an agreement in a period of time, you have to sell the property, maybe you're relocating, you have to consider that. The variable may be a better option for you rather than fixed. So these are the important things that you have to make sure that you are preparing, and these are the requirements. Employment verification is very important. Lots of people, if they want to use any reference to their family member giving you employment letter, no, it's not going to apply, because it's going to be verified. And once you provide the proof of asset, ownership, everything can be verified. Therefore, you want to be more transparent, disclosing everything, and make sure you work with a professional. You can go to the lender, whereas if you go to the mortgage broker or agent or principal like me, we are educated. We have a license. Every year we pay money to renew our license. We learn continuing education. I just finished my training a week ago, and now I'm sending in for my renewal. We are constantly learning the new regulation, know your client, suitability, and also know our product. That means the product that we chose for you based on your circumstances is suitable for you, and we disclose and discuss with you in detail, and we are your right hand to make sure that you are consider all the options available to you before you make a decision. So you are watching Realty Coffee Talk and Awaz Entertainment. Today we're talking about the impact of interest rate and mortgage approval process. And after the break, we're going to take a short break and we're going to give you a market update, what happened in February 2022. And we'll come back to you. In the meantime, I'd like you to know that if you wish to advertise on Awaz Entertainment, please call our office and get a special discount. You can call Ms. Javeen. She will give you a special discount because you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk, 416-786-9809. We'll come back after the short break.
It's good to dream big, to own a house and a business. Get residential and business loans. Get insurance to protect your dreams. Get your children in university education without monetary worries. Invite your family from back home to share your success in Canada. Me and my team of professionals will help you under one roof to settle down in Canada.
Amber Financial and Allied Services. Call now. 647-887-1696. Amber Financial and Allied Services. All services under one roof.
Zoc. Now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर. Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे क्या Zoc है आपका? All right now 905-625-7786. Zoc. Zoc वालों के लिए.
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
How you doing, Mira?
Good.
Good job. Honey, where's the masala for the chicken biryani?
In front of you.
And for the veg biryani?
You're holding it. तेल मसाला को बहुत
आवाज एंटरटेनमेंट एंड पीजी इंटरनेशनल की जानिब से हम लेकर आ रहे हैं आपके लिए एनुअल ब्राइडल वेडिंग एक्सपो। जी हाँ, जहां आपको मिलेगी बेशुमार वैरायटी ब्राइडल सूट्स और ब्राइडल ज्वेलरी की। जी हाँ, आपको आना है 27 मार्च 2022 को मिसिसागा कन्वेंशन सेंटर में। अगर आप अपने बिजनेस को प्रमोट करना चाहते हैं तो जी हाँ, कॉल कीजिए 416-786-9809 पे। आपके बिजनेस को 4 चांद हम लगा।
कॉर्पोरेट इवेंट्स हो या शादी की तकरीब हो, बर्थडे एनिवर्सरीज हो या हो बेबी शावर, और अगर आप चाहते हैं स्टूडियो सेटअप, रेंटल बैकड्रॉप्स, हार गजरे या पार्टीज के लिए फ्रेश फ्लावर अरेंजमेंट्स. Then call Afia Khan at 416-628-7849. Essence Event Decor. Creative, elegant and unique.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow Real Estate of Canada and broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. Brokerage, and I'm your host. We're talking about impact of interest rate and mortgage approval. Before I begin my presentation in terms of the statistic for February and projections, there are a couple of things I want to mention to you is that most cases when you are seeking a competitive proposal from different mortgage brokers, so you always look for this, what are the restrictions attached with a particular approval? Because when you are getting a proposal, if there is a variable or is a fix, you always want to know the restriction to make sure in case something happens that you have to cancel or terminate that agreement, what are my losses? Because if you have a fixed rate, because there is a penalty which is much greater than a variable. So this is very important to ask them to give you what are the, even though you have an attractive rate, but what are the restrictions that go with that? And also during the life of the mortgage, what are you helping us to make sure we're progressing? So I always recommend that when you have a mortgage and you work with a mortgage broker, make sure through the life of this, you constantly stay in touch with your broker because to update and what's going on in the marketplace. So before that mortgage expire, you're ready to expire, he or she start working on your application to make sure, explore all the options. This is very, very important for you to consider that. So because when you are working with a mortgage broker, believe me, they work very hard. It's a very competitive environment. All real estate professional, mortgage agent or broker, they fight for their client. So you have no idea how much efforts, time, and they have to do to maintain their licenses. It's incredible. And you may not value them because nobody has expressed that to you. But when you sit down with a professional and talk with them, how much time they spend getting for education to get a license and how much training they get or continuing education in order to maintain the license. The mortgage license now is only 1 year cycle, whereas real estate license for the brokerage, for the real estate agent, salesperson, it is for 2 year cycle. And the regulator, FISRA for mortgage and RICO for real estate, they have a training program, vigorous training program is getting improved and very beautiful and well educating. And this is amazing. Our regulator is doing so much training for our people, our registrant, to make sure that we deliver because their objective is to consumer protection and regulating the business. Now, let's talk about the figures. So now it will be unfair to look at 2020, 2021, and 2022 in a way how we are presenting with. Unfortunately, this information is available, but I'm going to share some little bit different idea as well and also give you some idea. So one thing is I look at the January 2021 and February 2021 as compared to 2022 January and February, we are 17.35% less transaction. 17 point. In January and February, in 2 months in 2021, according to Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, there was 17,817 transactions in 2 months. In 2022, we have 14,719 transactions. Make a note of that. The TREB may not have some information that is carried by other competitive boards like ITSO. ITSO has some members, they may not put the data on the TREB. So there is maybe a small variation there, but they're fairly accurate. This is what is actually put in a TREB MLS system. So in February, we have a 9,077 transaction in 2022, and in January 2021, we have a 10,929. And that's a minus 16.8%. So when I added the February, this is for February. And same thing with January, is approximately 17.39%, same rate. The sale went down as compared to going up. Now, if you look at the average price has increased. That's a 27.7%. I'm talking about all across residential, which includes apartment, building, houses, everything included average. Then we talk about unit detached separate one. So average price was 1,044,957 in February last year. And it is now 1,334,544. So last February, this February, 27.7% increase. Unbelievable. But that's what's happening. Now, as you can see, the sale is increasing as compared to January. January, we have only 5,622 transactions under TRAB. But in February, we have a 9,097. So there is a jump in increase of sales. Because I think it is related to prediction that interest rate will go up, so people start buying it. And you can see recently the Bank of Canada did raise a 0.25 rate up, borrowing for the bank. So therefore, they're going to pass on that rate to consumer. I think you will be looking at your line of credit or variable mortgage and check it out to make sure if they have increased that your line of credit or the mortgage, because if it's a variable, it's fixed, you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you look at your new listing, which is 15,146 in 2021, and is 14,147, so it's minus 6.6%. Oh, that dramatically increased. I never expected that it's going to go that high, but it's gradually increased. Because remember, it was 44% before. So it has mean more listing has come in the market. So we're expecting that. The active listing, 8,727 we have in 2021, and we have now 6,985, which is minus 20%. So still we are not there where we were in 2021 in February. So average list date on the market is 14 days and is leaving in 5 days, minus 37.5%, and property day on the market is 19 and now is 11, which is minus 42%. That means coming and going fast. Let's get back to the mortgage. I think if you remember that the CREA, Canadian Real Estate Association, we're all member, majority of them are a member, they predicted for Ontario, we're going to talk about Ontario, that Ontario, there will be average price increase is expected to be 11.5% projection for 2022. This is a quarterly projection. After March, they will do a new projection for April, May, and June. So you stay tuned to Realty Coffee Talk and watch Awaz Entertainment. We will be sharing with you the prediction for Korea. Because Korea is the one who control MLS system, Realtor.ca, and this is where you go and check your properties. So they are saying Ontario will be 11.5% regardless of this predicament. Now, in terms of sale, they are predicting minus 9.4% sale. Sale ratio will be there. So you can see that right now sale is 16.8% February to February. So we'll see how it averages out to that projection. Okay, now let's talk about the sale prices. Now, if we talk about the detached home, when we talk about detached home, the 416, unbelievable. 2,073,000 an average house. It doesn't talk about single, double, triple, ever. It's just the average house is detached home is $2,073,963. Sorry, 2,073,989,000 in 416 and 1,727,963 in 905 area. A semi-detached is 1,499,489 in 416 and 1,282,386. So again, these are average prices including all semis in 905 or 416 area. You need to consult with your real estate professional to give you a specific CMA or price evaluation for your property. They have the tools, they have the training, they can estimate the market value of the property. When you go on MLS and you see under listing price, don't go with it. Prepare your budget, have your realtor do a CMA and project that figure. Prepare that estimate and believe in that evaluation rather than listing, because you can see that listing is selling $300,000 more than list price, because if some property was sold $1 million and you still listing at $799,000, make no sense. This is very important because we're losing confidence in consumer if you underlist it. We make sure you evaluate and present a reasonable price for your listing, and you still have a competition based on the market condition. Do not underlist too much. But this is a choice the seller has to make it. It's not against the law. They can list any amount they want. But as a professional, it shows your credibility. If you list it for $799 and you sold for $1.2 million, that tells you that they don't need a real estate professional to sell the property. They need to be told this is what the value is, document that, and then go with that. Sometimes it's possible that somebody will not submit any offer, but because of shortage supply, there's a bidding war going on in everyone. Now, townhouses. In 416, if you need to buy a townhome in 416, is 1,131,809. That's the townhome you buy in 416 area. And if you're buying in 905, for example, Mississauga, Brampton, Milton, 1,119,026. That's a townhome. And condo apartment in 416 area, which is primarily Toronto, is $822,090. It doesn't talk about 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom apartment. It talks about all 416 area. When you talk about 905, it's $756,146. That is 905 area. So it could be 1 bedroom, could be 2 bedroom. So you have to check with them, because mostly 1 bedroom are close to what they're talking about here. Now, let's see year-over-year percentage of change. On detached home, I'm going to talk about 905, 416 together. We have minus 20.1% in sales. So our sale is down. Semi-detached, minus 22.8%, sale is down. Townhome, we have a minus 14.5%, sale is down in both locations I'm talking about. And condo apartment, 10.8%. More significant reduction in SAMI was high in 905, 21 also in detached home, and minus 60.4% also in townhome. And condo in Toronto was down 14.7%, which is the highest in terms of reduction. Now, let's talk about the price increase, average price increase change over year. So in 416, 23% increase year over year. 32.9% in 905 area increase for detached homes. Semi-detached, 14% increase, percentage of increase in 416, and 37.5%. So I think that it all has to do with the affordability. Lots of people are relocating, they're cashing out, they're retiring, they're downsizing or moving away to the recreational area, Niagara Falls, another region. As you can see that Niagara Falls is booming, economy is booming in that there because lots of people have moved. They cash their property here and they move to Niagara Falls, buy a big land there or a house. So townhome, there was 22.8% increase year over year percent change, and 32.3% in 905 area. And a condo apartment, 21.5% increase in change year over year, and 34.2% increase in 905 area. So you can see that, imagine that. Now in last, again, before we end this, in 22, our average price in January was 1,242,760. That was the average price in January of 2022. Average price in 2022 is 1,334,544. If you combine them both, January and February, average price for all property is 1,299,486 using Toronto Regional Real Estate Board data available to the public. Thank you for watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. We have a special advertising for you. If you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk and you subscribe my realtycoffeetalk.com channel on YouTube, you will get a special $500 package from our Awaz Entertainment, and you can call 647-484-0018, or you can call 416-786-9809. You need to provide 30-second video that will be broadcast 10 times a day on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world, for 30 days. Only $500 plus HST for viewer of Realty Coffee Talk only. So please call Ms. Jabeen. You have number on the screen. Watch 647-484-0018 or 1-888-786-9809. You're watching Realty Coffee Talk. Please subscribe my YouTube channel for realtycoffeetalk.com. And we will come back to you on next Thursday at 7 p.m. on Awaz Entertainment. Thank you for watching. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you. Bye for now. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m.